Welcome, dear students. A very good afternoon to everyone. So, as we know that we are again back to online classes, and we need to start with our academics. We should not stop whatever things happen outside. So, we should focus on our studies, and we should continue with that. And coming to the subject, uh, I'm going to handle the advanced computer networks and security. So in today's class, we'll be discussing about the syllabus part in brief, and then I will be starting with the first unit straight away. So you have got 5 modules in this, I mean 5 units, and 2 reference books we have, and all the units are not of equal weightage. Okay, 2 units are of 12 hours, one unit is of 10 hours, and the other 2 units are of 8 hours. So it is like in that way it is distributed. So unit 2 and unit 3 are little lengthier ones because they are of 12 hours. Unit 4 and 5 are of 8 hours, and unit 1 is of 10 hours. So in this way it is been distributed. So already you have learned the data communication in the third semester. So we have introduced this subject so that you can understand in more detailed way how actually the data communication occurs, or how the internet works or the network works. So in this subject, we are going to study more on the algorithms that really work whenever we say that we are communicating, or whenever we are sharing the information or resources. So how actually that works. So we are going to discuss with that. So we're going to study a lot of algorithms, and the basically we are going to study about more about the protocols and the standards that we'll be studying. So coming to the syllabus, the unit 1, in this we are going to study again the basics of data communication, what are the components of networks, and then we are going to study about the type of connections, that is topologies. We are going to study different types of topologies we are going to study, and like star topology, mesh topology, ring topology, all these topologies we are going to study. That means which tells about how the computers are connected, or how the computers are interconnected. They are using which geometrical shape, or how they are communicating. For that we require this topology is very important. And then we're going to study about the protocols and the standards. In the third semester, you have studied the OSI model and TCP/IP model. Again, we are going to study in detail, but in the remaining topics, we are going to study about the protocols. Like OSI model is like just a reference model, which tells that application layer will perform this particular task. Network layer will perform this particular task. But in this subject, we are going to study, or we are going to concentrate more on the protocols that are working in that particular layer. For every layer, like in the TCP/IP protocol suite, we have different protocols and those standards. So what this protocol will do, or in this particular layer, we are going to use which uh, standard or which protocol is required, that we are going to study in detail in the remaining topics. And then coming to the this is little different from this OSI model. So we are going to study about the cellular telephone and the satellite networks, how the satellite works. Like when we say that we are when we have a normal phone call or a call, so there will be a communication will take place. We receive the signals through the satellites or to the towers that we have. So how this satellite network works, and how the signal is transferred from one place to another place. So what are the intermediary tools that are required, or the uh, machines that are required, so that we are going to study. And then we are going to study about the sonnet and the virtual circuit networks. And then finally we're going to study about the frame relay and the ATM. So this is all about the basic of the first unit. Then coming back to the second unit, so here we are going to study in detail about the network layer, how the network layer is designed. Okay, then we're going to study about the addressing. So we have something called as logical addressing and physical addressing. Like when we have a computer system, every computer system has got a unique address, or we can say that a computer will be having something called as the Internet Protocol address, IPv4 or IPv6 address. So by using this, we can identify by through which computer we are connected, or if I want to send a particular file, or if I want to receive some file, so I need to have a unique name for every computer system. So whenever the computers are connected to the network or to the internet, so every computer will have a unique number, or you can say a unique name. So that really is nothing but the IP address. So how this IP addresses help us to communicate, and what are the different types of IP addresses we have to study, and then we are going to study about the network layer design issues. So how this network layer will work, or what is the basic task of network layer, that you will be knowing that, but we're going to study about in detail. So like the basic task of the network layer is to find a particular route to transfer the data, or to transfer the information from one layer, I mean from one particular source to the destination. So for that, we are going to study about the routing. So basically the network layer task is of routing. So we are going to study about the different routing algorithms, that is shortest path routing algorithm, flooding, and so on. So there are many distance vector routing, link state routing, hierarchical routing. So these are the different uh, routing algorithms we are going to study in detail. So all these routing algorithms can be asked for 10 marks. So almost we have big set of questions which can be asked for 10 marks here. And related to this, some of the algorithms we will be also studying in design analysis and algorithm as well. So it will be easy for you to understand the things. And then coming to the next part, the second category in this, we are going to study about the IPv4 and IPv6 addresses and its structure. We are going to study in detail. So what is the header size, where we'll be sending the packets, how it will be stored. So all this we have to study in detail the second part of the second unit, that is the IPv4 address, its header format, IPv6 address, its header format, and so on. Then the other protocols we'll be studying with related to that. That comes, I mean, that will be your second unit. Then we have the third unit. Again, in detail, we are going to study the transport layer. Like we studied about the, I mean, we discussed about the network layer. We are going to study in detail about the transport layer. So transport layer services, elements of transport protocols, and congestion control. What problems may occur whenever we are transporting, or for example, if you consider when we are moving from one place to another place by using a vehicle or a car and so on, so there can be problem with the traffic, and so other things may occur. So same things will occur whenever you are communicating, or whenever the data is being transferred. So there can be problem with the traffic, or there can be problem of congestion and so on. So how we can overcome with that, those related things we'll be discussing in the transport layer. And then we'll be studying some transport layer protocols. So like in every particular unit, we are going to study the protocols that are required and their header formats. Okay, so UDP, RPC, RTP. So these are the different protocols that we'll be using in the transport layer. So their header format and this structure we are going to study in detail. Then coming to this TCP service model, we are going to study about how the connection establishment will take place. So whenever you are communicating with two devices, so whenever we are communicating with two, I mean, source and a destination, there should be initially basic connection should take place. How this connection will establishment take place, or what are the different types of connection establishment that we're going to study. And then once the communication will be closed, or when the communication gets over, how the connection will be released. Those things we are going to study in that. And we're going to study about some other algorithm like TCP sliding window protocol, TCP timer management, and congestion control. All those things related to the third unit will be discussing. So the second unit and third unit are very much important, because the unit 2 and unit 2 is structured in such a way that both these are for 12 hours. So these two are very, very important and very much essential. And also not only in terms of your academics, but when you go for the placement drives, most of the things will be asked from the advanced computer networks and the protocols that we use in different layers of the OSI model. So these are very much essential. The last two units are like unit 4 and unit 5 are very, very simple. So we're going to study application layer, that is DNS, domain name systems. Okay, how this IP addresses that we have, so how they will help and how we can access the information from there. And also, as we know that application layer is the first layer where a user can interact in the OSI model. So we'll be using our email services or applications and so on. So those related protocols will be studying in this, like MIME, SMTP, IMAP, HTTP. So these protocols are very much common that we will be using, because in the OSI model, when we refer, the application layer is the first layer where the user can actually interact, or the remaining layers we do not have control over it, because that will be handled entirely by the computer system. But only the layer where the user can interact is the application layer. Down the line in the OSI model, we do not have any control. So we will be discussing about the application layer with these different protocols. And then in the unit 5, we are going to study about network management. Well, we have studied about all the different types of different layers and protocols and so on, but there can be problem with the network management. uh, we will always want to have good network, and so that we can communicate in a faster and a better way. And also we may face some security issues. Okay, always there will be a problem of, whenever we are communicating, there will be problem of intruder, or there can be a problem of some network issues, or the security issues, threats, or hackers may hack our information and so on. So related to that, we are going to study about the message integrity, message authentication, digital signature, and so on. We are going to study about encryption and decryption in detail, and firewalls, how they will help us to protect our data or protect our information whenever we are communicating. So that is about the unit 5. And then going ahead with the textbooks. So we have a lot of textbooks that are given, but for our studies, we'll be studying these two textbooks, that is the Andrew Tenenbaum and the uh, Rosen. So these are the two textbooks that we'll be referring for the first and fifth unit. Okay, I repeat. So they are given it as reference 2 and reference 3. After the completion of the first unit and second unit, they have mentioned this. This means that for unit 2, 3, and 4, okay, for unit 2, 3, and 4, we'll be using this Andrew Tenenbaum. So this textbook is going to refer, and for the first unit and fifth unit, we'll be referring the another textbooks, that is the Forozan. So like this, your syllabus is been structured. Like in the first unit, we are going to study about the introduction part. So basically, we know that we require the computer or any device, we can say, whenever we want to share the information or share the resources. So data communication is all about sharing of the information or sharing of the data from one person to another person. So first thing we should understand that why this network is required, or why sharing of information is required. So earlier days, we were using the regular postcards or mails, through that the person will come and he will take the files or the information, he will post it, and then the information will be delivered to the destination. But it took a lot of time. Maybe we can say 1 week or 10 days time is required to physically go to that particular place and give the file or information. So to avoid that, we started using some technological aspects, and we started using the computer system. And then later there was the revolution took place, and we started using the computer system. And then we started using the networks, so that the computers can share the information or resources, and it can help the business so that they can make the quick decisions. And then we require the not only networks, also the internet is required. I want to make it more interactive session. Can somebody tell me what is the meaning of network in simple term? What is the meaning of a network? Yes, any answers for this? What is the meaning of a network? Yes, any answers for this? What is the meaning of a network?
Platform of digital communication.
Platform for digital communication.
Collection of servers to share data.
Servers is required for servers. Network for networks. Servers are not required basically. Yes.
Group of computers.
Two or more devices connected for communication.
Group or
Exactly.
system.
The basic, the bottom line is, if you have two computers which are connected, or we can say connection of two or more computers connected by some coaxial cable, or by, you can say, local area network cable. So that is sufficient to share the information or share the resources. That is nothing but a network. Then comes to the internet. So what is the internet then? Is network and internet are same or they are different? Network and internet is same or it is different? Yes, any answers? What is the internet? See, when I say a network, it need not be that the computers must be present. One computer may be present at Belgavi and another computer may be present at US or Bangalore and so on. When we say a network, it can be combination of two or more computers side by side also, or within a particular region, like in our labs or in our local area network. But the problem will be, we can communicate only by using the local area network cable. But if I want to send our information from here to somewhere to other destination or to US and so on, I cannot do it directly. So for that, we require what? We require the internet connection. So when we say internet, it is a collection of such large networks. In simple terms, I'm telling you that internet is nothing but collection of networks. We call it as the internet. So one network can be present at our college, another network can be present at Harvard, or another network can be present at somewhere else. So now if I want to communicate with one device to another device which is present at the remote side, then I must have a internet connection. So without the internet connection, I cannot directly send information from one computer to another computer which is present elsewhere or which is present outside my boundary. But whereas if I want to communicate with two devices or two computers which are kept in a local area network or in a particular room or a college, you can say, then it is possible without having the internet connection as well, because I can use a local area network and I can communicate. So that is the internet. Now, also we need to understand, is internet connection is sufficient to fetch the information? No. So internet is combination of both, because we require the hardware devices as well as we require the software devices. I have a computer or I have a smartphone. I have the internet pack is also available. Basically, the internet service providers, we call them as the ISPs. So the local vendors or the BSNL, Airtel, okay, Idea, and so on. Those are called as the ISPs, internet service providers. So they will charge some amount from you, and according to that, you will get the data pack and you will get the internet facility. So if you have such things, you have a computer, internet facility, everything, but this is not sufficient. because we should have the other things as well. We should have the software like browsers and web servers and database servers are also essential to access the internet. So internet is a combination of both. If I want to say search something on the Google, if you have just the browser and if you have the software, it is not sufficient. You should have the internet connection. The other way is also true. If you have the internet connection, you have the computer system or smartphone, fine. But if you do not have the web browser or the servers is not working, then still you cannot access the internet. So that is the basic thing that we need to understand. Now the next thing that we need to discuss is what are these protocols and standards? Can somebody tell me what are the protocols or the example
To
for the
transfer the data from one device to another device reliably, we need a protocol.
but what is the meaning of a protocol? Yes, reliably is everything fine, good. But why this protocol is required? Or what is the meaning of this basic understanding of the protocol?
It's the rule for communication reliably.
It is a rule, exactly. So we can say that is the rule or the guidelines we can say. So whenever we are when we are going on the or when we are transporting or when you are going with the car or a vehicle, we will be having some traffic rules. Unless and until we follow the traffic rules, there is no problem. But if you do not follow the traffic rules, then there can be problem of congestion or accident may happen. Similarly, related to the same thing, when we are communicating with from one device to another device, there can be possibility of some network traffic or there can be some misunderstanding between both the source and the destination machines. So to avoid all those things, we need to follow some basic protocols or we can call them as the guidelines. Like we have the HTTP protocol, TCP/IP protocol. TCP protocol suite will tell what are the different protocols that we have. So MIME protocol, SMTP protocol, UDP. So all these are the different protocols that will help us, or as you said, it will make us more reliable so that the information can be sent or received without any disturbances. And also we need to follow some standards like OSM model and TCP/IP model has provided some standards and guidelines so that we can communicate with the devices. So these are the basic things that we'll be studying. So as we know, data communications and networking, they are changing the way we do business and the way we live. So earlier, imagine that we do not have computer system or internet is not there. Then everything was done manually, pen and paperwork, and a person will come, he will take the file, a postman, and then he will send it or he will deliver it to some other place and so on. But because of this, we couldn't increase or we couldn't make a good profit in our business. Always when we have the business, we should always make quick decisions, or to make a good decisions, we need to have the information in a proper way. So if we have the communications and with a faster communication so that we can receive the files. Like suppose say that we are having organization and the CEO is present somewhere else. Okay, he want the information of our all day-to-day transactions or day-to-day work that they are doing, so that he can check whether the company is in the profit or loss and so on, how he can scale up his business or organization. So for all these things, we require the data communication. You just prepare a profit and loss account balance sheet and so on. Just give it to, just mail it to your CEO or a higher authorities so they can come to know what is the status and so that we can make good decisions. So this is helping for the business as well. Business decisions have to be made more quickly, and because of this reason also data communication and networking is very much essential. So decision depends on immediate access to accurate information. Also, it is just not having the information, but the information that we are receiving or we are delivering, it should be authenticated and it should be accurate information so that it can help the business. So business today rely on computer networks and the internet networks. So all these days, the recent from last 20 years, we can say, or last 15 years, the business is running totally on the network or on the internet. So before we get hooked up, we need to know about how network operate and what types of technologies are available. So we have to discuss about what all things are required in terms of hardware. It is not just having a sufficient that if you have a computer, it is not sufficient. We should have some other devices with related to the computer as well. We may require the cables, we may require the modem, we may require the hubs and switches, we may require some routers. So all these are supporting devices. So we basically will be using the routers, we'll be using switches and hubs and so on. We're going to discuss in detail about that. So how these networks operate and what all things that are required. And also we'll be studying about what types of technologies are the development of PC changed a lot in the business industry, science, and education. Like we know earlier, we didn't have the computer systems or PCs, so we were using everything in pen and paper and so on. So the computer made a big revolution in the industry, or also in the field of education and science and so on. Similarly, we were just using the computer system, but later on, we started researching on that, then we started using the networks, internet, and so on. So similar revolution of also took place by having the concept of networking and internet and so on. So technologies advances are making it possible for communication links to carry more and faster signals. So these days, we always want to have the telecommunication required, or the communication is required, not only just a normal communication, but we want to have a faster communication. Like we were having earlier 2G, then we had 3G, 4G, 5G, and so on. So we are moving ahead with the different generations of networks as well. Like we had the earlier, we have the different generations of computer system. Similarly, we are also moving ahead with very fast technological advancement by using very quick generations, and so that we can access the data with very less time, or can say very quickly. Services are evolving to allow the use of this expanded capacity. Also, there are a lot of services that are essential, or we can get the services from the internet. So for example, telephone services extend to have. So earlier days we have normal telephone communication, but later on we introduce conference calling, call waiting, voicemail, caller ID tracking. So these are the some advancement that are taking place. So earlier we had only these things, but these days we can also have video calls, Zoom meetings, and so on. So all these are the different advancements that are taking place in the internet. Now coming to the basic meaning of the data communication or the communication. So communication means sharing of information, and this sharing of information can be a local or it can be a remote. Local, as we know that face-to-face communication can be local, and then remote for a distance, or a local communication can be also like within a particular region, like we have local area network, wide area network, metropolitan area network, and so on. So the communication can be local in the sense it can be face to face, or it can be within a particular boundary or within particular region. So that can be a local, or it can be remote from this place to some other place on the earth. So that is nothing but the meaning of the communication. So it means sharing of information. And telecommunication means it can include telephone, telegraph, television. Okay, it means communication at a distance. So this telecommunication is being brought from the Greek word which means far. So far means with a long distance. That means what? Tele, and then we have the communication. So for long distance communication or long distance of sharing of information, we require this network. I mean, we require the communication. That is about the basic meaning of the data communication. What data refers to? Data refers to the information. No doubt, again, there is a different meaning or a different definition for data and information. Data is always in the raw form, whereas information is the processed data that we already know. But this we always use data and information interchangeably, that we know. And then information can be presented in any form agreed upon by the parties. So information, when we say, it can be a text information, it can be in terms of numbers, it can be combination of characters, digits, and so on, or a special information, and so on. But whenever we are communicating, it should be agreed upon by the parties, that is creating and using, or by sender and receiver. So whenever we are communicating in normal terms also, if I know English, the other person should also know English when we are communicating. But if we do not have that, then we require a translator as well. So what they are telling is the communication should occur based on the, I mean, there should be a proper understanding between the both the parties. Data communication is the exchange of data between two devices via some form of transmission medium. So we studied about the communication, but to do this communication, or when we want to have the communication should occur, then we must have some transmission medium is also required. Without the medium, we cannot transfer the information. Like now I'm using the Zoom as a medium, so that we can, all the students can communicate and faculties can communicate, and they can transfer the information. So similarly, for the basic of data communication, we require this transmission medium. It can be a guided medium or unguided medium, and so on, wire cable and so on, or it can be like a Bluetooth or a Wi-Fi connection and so on. So that we will be studying in detail later on. The communication system is made up of a combination of hardware and software. So whenever we say that we are communicating, it is a combination of both hardware as well as the software. We cannot remove one from the other. Like for example, basically I'm using the laptop, and also I'm using a software called as Zoom. So with a common sense, we can understand that to do the communication or to have a proper communication system, we should have combination of both. And then we'll be studying about the effectiveness of data communication depends on the following four factors, that is delivery, accuracy, timeliness, and jitter. What is the meaning of this delivery? The system must deliver data to correct destination, data received by the intended user only.